Welcome to Dakota Growing. I'm Kelsey Deckert, your horticulture agent in Burleigh County, joined in the Dakota, access studio here, media access studio, new studio with my co-host
Yes.
Tom Kalb, NDSU extension horticulturalist.
Hi, Kelsey. How's it going?
It's going. It's hot out there.
Yeah, unseasonably warm, that's for sure.
But we were like unseasonably cool beginning of the month too.
Yeah, so it all balances out. And but that's Dakota weather.
That is.
And but I guess the best news is technically we're not in a drought. So,
No. And I think there's some scattered rain
Yeah.
ahead this weekend.
So that's
Fingers crossed. It was a great rain over Memorial Day weekend.
yeah. And there's no snow,
No snow.
no frost. Looks like
Life is good.
we're safe.
Life is good, yeah.
Winter's gone. 8 months of winter's over.
That's right.
We survived another one.
Do you got your garden planted?
Chalk it up. I got the plants. Planting's coming later,
Okay.
one step at a time.
Okay.
Work comes first,
That's right.
you know. Got
Gotta
to
get
pay
all
the
those
bills.
seeds out and stuff.
That's right. I got over 300 families working with me again this year, so
Awesome.
keep me busy.
Okay, you ready to get started for today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk today about garden journaling. You ever journal? You ever do any type of journaling growing up? Besides school, right?
You know, I wanted to write a journal one time. It was when I was a kid. I went to California for a summer
Wow.
when in college, mostly just to get out of the farm work at the farm. It was just,
Okay.
so I got to go. It was my sophomore year in college. I said, I'm going to go to California and study. And I did. And that journal started with, I took a Greyhound bus, $49 from Minneapolis to Sacramento to Davis,
Wow.
California. And so I had a one-day journal. That's how long it lasted. It was great intentions. It was a great first page. But
An interesting
that was
bus
the end of
ride?
it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another
That's
story.
another story for another time.
The
Oh,
way home was
perfect.
more interesting.
Okay.
I saw an angel on my ride home, so
Oh, yeah.
we'll talk about that someday.
We do have to talk about that
Okay.
sometime. All right. So, what I really want to tell our viewers today and stuff is gardening journaling is a great thing to do, especially if you're an avid gardener. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of benefits. So, we're going to just dive right on into it. So, gardening is both a science and an art, and that journaling is going to help capture
Wow.
those important details. But really, if you're going to be a good journaler,
Yes,
in gardening, observation is
journalist.
key. Journalist, there you go.
You're a journalist now.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
When you say observation is key with any gardener or garden,
Of course,
of course it is. Yeah.
gotta see it,
Document it.
gotta feel it, hear it,
Smell it.
smell it, sense it. I'm with
Document
you.
it. All
Okay,
right. Yeah,
don't forget it. Document it.
that's right. So history, this has been used around for years and years. This isn't anything new. I think, you've referenced in past Dakota Garden or Dakota Growing episodes, Thomas Jefferson, right?
Of course.
And I can't remember the garden,
Monticello,
Monticello.
beautiful place.
So actually, he kept a beautiful garden journal that is called the Garden Book that you can buy. You will actually see his handwritten notes, and he did everything you can do with the garden journal, talking about just the plants he grew, the dates sown. Have you ever heard of that? His book?
I've never seen that or heard
Okay.
of it. The only thing I know about Jefferson in writing is he made copies while he wrote
So he'd write more than once.
at the same time. He had
Boy,
like things
that's
like these
that's
things,
crazy.
like these microphones,
Yeah.
and we have a pen on the other end. So when he wrote, the other pen was writing.
Wow.
He did the first photocopy machine.
That I did not know.
He invented the photocopy machine.
Man, he was a man of many talents. Very many.
He was a special man in
Yeah.
many ways.
Yeah. I had a master gardener who visited those gardens, I think in the fall. But he got the book, and he was showing me the book as well. And it's very detailed. And when you get in there, again, I'm going to talk more about that during my presentation, like what you should document and what you should keep. But I would say that is our first probably published garden journal you'll see out there. And then in the 1800s, over in England, they developed like the first garden journal magazine, and that was the first one dedicated to horticulture strictly. So very interesting. So yes, been used by farmers, botanists for years, helped document plant species and seasons, still widely used today. And I would say when you've referenced our Native Americans that were here, they've obviously did some documentation too, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say if you're interested in that, the coolest book, well, probably the I don't know, one of the most important gardeners in the history of North Dakota is Buffalo Bird Woman.
Yeah.
And Buffalo Bird Woman, she sat down with an archaeologist, Gilbert Sullivan, I believe is his name, and she documented, she talked, he wrote, and so it's amazing details on the way some of the North American tribes garden. She'll tell you exactly when they planted the sunflowers, when they planted the maize, how far apart they planted everything, when they harvested it, how they would keep the pests and predators away. So it's an amazing book, especially if you want to plant like a Four Sisters garden. They'll tell you right there how they did it.
Yeah, help
pretty
you
cool.
Be successful.
So, and that's available online if anybody's interested. You just go Buffalo Bird Woman, and you can download. It's like 100-some page documentation of her journal.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Very good. Well, just like I have up here, the purpose is really your personal record of your gardening journal. So you can track your plant growth, your weather, seasonal changes, combine notes, sketches, observation, and it's going to be very useful for all ages. So before we started even the program today, I was visiting with you that I did a workshop, and part of the workshop is all the gardeners that came, they made their own journal. And when I asked if anybody journals, a lot of them referenced, yes, in a way, because I do the home variety trials. So I think you already are doing it statewide. You have a lot of journalists that are helping you get all the key information, right, for successful
I
varieties.
get about 1,500 of those little journal pages every year.
That takes up a lot of time, I bet.
So that we document everything, we publish it, so people can learn from it, just like you're talking about, that they can learn from what worked in the past, what didn't work in the past, and what you can learn from that and for the future.
Right, exactly. So thought that was kind of interesting that, and some of them also responded that they have always wanted to, but just didn't know all the key things to put into a journal and stuff. So really, why keep a journal? It's going to improve your gardening skills over time. It's going to track those successes and failure, enhance the observation of nature in general, and then also encourage mindfulness and creativity. So great things for that. Some benefits. Journaling in general is a great way to reduce stress and anxiety. It helps improve emotional regulation. It'll help you achieve any goals that you set and also enhance problem solving. So again, they say that if you are able to take your thoughts and put them out on paper, lowers your blood pressure. I should maybe try that occasionally. But yeah, so there's great benefits just health-wise as well for that. Okay. So what some more benefits I guess that I have here is better planning for each season. You can increase your productivity, and then also a stronger connection to nature. So again, help you from beginning to end throughout your season, and be able to do, I didn't know if I jumped one. Be able to plan for the next season ahead. So different types. Simply a notebook. You can get a binder. That's what we created. And I have some example of pages that I put together for the gardeners from the workshop that I held. And nowadays, everything is digital. I did a little research on some digital apps, and some of the gardeners that attended the workshop and even this presentation at Dakota Expo said they use the apps and they really like them. So
For journaling.
For garden journaling, because essentially you're doing everything you would do on paper or in a binder, however you see fit, but you're just putting it in your phone in an app that's keeping it.
So you type it.
You type it or take pictures of things. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll talk about it.
Pictures would be a nice bonus.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson didn't have pictures, right?
No, I believe there were some sketches though.
Yeah.
I think there was some sketches in there. Whether that's from him or
Yeah, his communication's powerful, huh?
Can be. It can be. So what to include? Ultimately, this is your journal, so anything you would like, but here's just some basics that I would say are important, like making sure you're having your planting dates down. You have that in your evaluations. Weather. I will say, I think in general, I know a lot of like farmers and neighbors out in my area that they just generally track the weather, like on a calendar. So weather's going to be important. Varieties, maybe pests or diseases that you had, include any fertilizers, the harvest amount, and then of course any inspirational quotes or pictures too that you find inspiring to add to your place. So a lot of details you can get. So some plant record bases. This is actually a sheet that, again, I created for a garden journal. Include the variety that you have. That's very important. Dates planted, the location in the garden. That's going to help if you do any crop rotation in the future. Germination date, maturity date, and then, again, the amount produced as well. And on this one, you can see the sheet I had, just little notes, which you always ask for comments at the end of yours. So that's notes right there. Environmental records. This is another way, if you keep an actual calendar, is really nice, but daily weather, so your highs and lows, if there was rain, how much rain you had, any type of storms, figuring out those average temperatures for the month. And of course, like last year, we had a lot of smoke, so whether there's fog or smoke, and I know people really think the smoke, I think there's been some research done on that too, on how that plays an effect on your garden overall. I think last year we had a ton of storms that played the biggest the biggest factor.
Maybe that hailstorm was a factor.
The wind, the tornadoes that came around.
Tornado.
Yeah. But that fog too, noting that, and then that obviously if we have heavy fog and high humidity, kind of know that that was present for diseases and stuff to develop. So I think those are two really good things, your plant basics and your environment basics to start. So really easy ways to create these out there too. I actually use Canva to create them, but Publisher, there's so many programs out there to create specific sheets, or even just throw in a calendar in your binder if you so choose. So, okay, we're getting going on that. So then our next thing is soil record basics. An example here, it would be great to have an included garden map. Again, just kind of threw something together that'll help in future crop rotation, knowing where to move them in the garden. So knowing your soil type or condition, if you have it in containers, knowing what you put in the containers. Again, fertilizer added, your watering schedule. We always talk about that in general with, I think you're going to talk a little bit about lawns today, but lawns and gardens, and then mulching and what kind of mulch was used as well. So again, kind of getting the basic of what your garden layout is and what's all included on that. And then, of course, pest and disease tracking. So any insects observed, what plants maybe were affected by those, the symptoms you saw for a disease, treatments you used, and then, of course, the effectiveness of solutions. So I don't know, on yours that I looked at, I think you do ask about fertilizer.
Yeah, I just want to know, pretty much I want to know if they're organic or not.
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah, because there's strong interest in organic gardening. And actually, most of our participants are organic gardeners. It surprised me. And So then we can see, like, maybe this variety will do well under organic conditions, whereas another one won't. So,
Right.
yeah. Right. It's
Yeah.
kind of...
You've been on to this for years already.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Like, I think, like, I really don't do this because maybe it's just because I'm lazy, and I just say, I'll just say, okay, I'll remember that.
And do you? Sometimes, right?
No, I don't remember it very well. But you can, everything's digital, like you say. So on computers, you can say, okay, when did I write this? Or when did I note this? When did I write this article? Oh, okay, that was early May. You got to make a commitment to this journaling because, at the end of the day,
it's time out of your schedule
you
to do all this.
You gotta sit down and write this stuff. I mean, it's
It can be time consuming.
so yeah.
It can be, yeah.
It'd be beneficial having this information. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Learn from your mistakes.
I think so. Like I said, I had a neighbor who, he has since passed away, but he documented weather for years just on calendars. And again, there's meteorologists out there, but he definitely was able to track some different patterns and say, well, this would correlate with this. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I mean, he obviously took an interest in that to start, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of cool stuff that you can get with that. So some other things that I would say is very important is making sure that you're adding photos and sketches. So document change. I think one of the best things is actually when my garden looks great, that I get pictures that I can use and show. Also can help with like your identification skills and remind you of the beauty in your yard, and maybe it's a bragging point to your neighbor too. I don't know, but I think again, having that artistic ability or having some art in there is just gonna overall enhance that journal as well. So reviewing your journal, I can't imagine what it takes you to sit and go through thousands of evaluations.
Mostly, I just hope they have very few comments so I can go through them faster.
Go through them faster. Yeah, that's time consuming in itself. And so, just making sure that, again, you do take time, whether it's in the fall or the winter during our non-growing season. Again, look for patterns, note patterns, identify those successes and failure. Get ready for that planning of, rotation, what to do different. Do you need to do any different soil amendments? Any different plants or varieties you want to add in, all those things. So again, you do got to dedicate time to document. You got to take time to review. And so just some mistakes to avoid: inconsistency of entries, too much or too little detail. I'm sure you get some of those, comments that don't matter at all, right? Like in the grand scheme of things.
Well,
no comment.
Because I appreciate all the work these people are doing. So who am I to complain?
Right.
If someone wants to write, 3 pages on a zucchini trial, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I do document it all, and I do publish it for the public.
Yeah, you're publishing a garden journal.
Yeah, it's like 150 pages. So
and it's great. It's a great resource every year.
Helpful.
Very much.
How about so when you review, like ongoing, or you do it at the end after the frost, or?
I think that's up to you. I think there's gardeners who are actively journaling, and they maybe review monthly. Maybe they review, I don't know, depends on what their lifestyle is. Yeah. Me, if I were to do this, I don't do this because, again, it takes time. I would probably have to wait till end of the growing season when it's a little bit quieter in my life to take time to sit down and review it.
Then the other thing, whenever it's kind of like a diary is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is, essentially.
So So like they say the best diaries are the ones that aren't meant to be published.
Oh.
Because you're writing for yourself. You can have more of your personal comments.
It's true.
And whereas if you're publishing for the public, you have to watch what you say.
It's got to be polished.
Well, you just got to, you maybe can't be totally free with your feelings.
That's true.
You know, and then like you talk about like those, like Jefferson and you say Washington and Adams. Actually, this is like a commercial for that. There's a show going on Dakota Media Access about the presidents and their gardens and their foods that they ate. That's going on right now. It's a good show by Connie. But like the Adams, they would write Mr. and Mrs. Adams, John and Abigail. Their information. One of them was published. No, one of them they burned them. That must have been George Washington. His wife burned all their correspondence because it was personal and it's none of your business.
Yeah.
What I wrote my husband. But I think John and Abigail, they kept theirs for generations. So it's kind of, I guess, the most interesting ones would be the most private ones.
Right.
Like, you know, like why did I do that stupid? Why did I spray Roundup on my tomato plant, or so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably get some
how inspiration. How free with your feelings,
Yeah. Probably get some explicit
yeah
thoughts going on there.
Yeah.
For sure.
That darn dog in the neighborhood, stuff like that, real personal
Things
stuff.
you don't want to know about.
Okay.
Okay, so some mistakes to avoid. Let's talk about tips for success.
Yeah.
Let's write regularly, like you said. You got to
Yeah, good
dedicate
idea.
the time. So maybe it's a set day of the week. Maybe it's a phone reminder. Again, like I said, try to keep them simple. And I think this probably might be the hardest part for some people, is being honest and detailed, And then also just make it enjoyable. Add jokes or any, again, self-notes that maybe you can read back on last year and you're going to laugh about those personal details you put in there. Stupid neighborhood dog.
I think that makes it good. I think that you got to add some spice. This ain't like if I want a weather report, I can just go on to a weather site and
yeah, you can.
You got to have some personality in here.
Right.
That's
right.
Put your personality in it.
Yeah, I would agree. And then as far as like starting a journal today, just know that it takes time and it's going to improve. You're also going to expand your knowledge. It's going to make gardening more rewarding. And of course, it's something to show off to your friends if you so choose and want to keep those, not keep those personal details to yourself if you want to show them off. I think that's where, again, if you're adding photos of your garden, and if you'd keep this for years to just show the evolvement of your landscape and stuff. One thing every year, like for Mother's Day, my husband adds something to my yard. That's kind of what I've gotten used to. And so it would have been cool to be like, okay, here we are, year one, bare pasture ground, nothing. Now I got how many beds, and I got some trees and some shrubs, and just to see that progression would be kind of fun. But I wasn't a good documenter. I didn't take pictures on that. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, it's something like you're a farmer. And so, there can be history there. You could have a family farm here that your children could enjoy reading about. Like, let's say, what their father or grandfather gave their mother or grandmother every year, and say, oh yeah, that tree's still there today, and
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
nostalgic.
Nice. Yeah,
very much. And then just to round out this presentation, I mentioned some digital platforms. So this is not an extensive research that I did on them, but here's some that are more of the top ones that definitely are capturing a lot of the things that I mentioned for including. And a lot of these will say that, you know, they may be free or have in-app charges and stuff, but the Seed Time Garden Planner app, that was one that you definitely, all of these allow like photos. Some of them have where they give you like basically a garden map and you go and input what you put in as a crop that you planted in there and stuff. And then, yeah, there's ways to take notes and there's ways to capture photos of pests, insects. You know, in today's digital world too, I think there's a lot of apps that you can take a picture of a plant and it's going to try to tell you what it thinks it needs, that plant needs as well, to be healthy or not. So I think people use that.
Yeah,
whether
they do.
That's reliable information they're getting.
It depends on the
know.
app. You know, I just saw an app today when I was just priming for today's episode, and there was a commercial, and it showed like, oh, here's an arborvitae that turned brown. I said, what do you do? And they recommended adding Coca-Cola to it. You know,
wow!
So like, there's some apps that are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you know, you mentioned like that. I think that crop rotation would be really helpful. Like you got your garden map. You know, okay, this is what I planted this year, and then you want to rotate your crops. It's good to, you know, some of us, when you get into your upper 40s like myself, our memory starts to 40 plus, should I say, start going downhill, and your memory's not quite as good. Yeah. And so that would be helpful to know, like, okay, that's where I planted my broccoli 2 years ago. Okay, now I can do this. Yeah, it's just got to make a commitment, I think.
You got to be committed.
That'd be a thing. It's as good as anything if you commit to it.
And like I said, it can improve over time. So maybe the first year,
of course,
you don't do a great job.
Right.
But then the next year you add more time to dedicate towards it. So I would say now would be a perfect time, especially if you just recently got your garden planted or you're waiting to get your garden planted. If it's something that is of interest and you want to track and document, get one started today. Explore some of those apps. Get a notebook.
Yeah, this could be the first. This could be the first thing. I just saw this on Dakota Media Access. A great presentation by Kelsey Deckert on garden journaling, and I'm inspired to give it a try myself. So here we go. It's 90 degrees today. It's time to get going.
Oh my gosh!
So many of us were going to our garden centers now. Busy time. Good idea.
Busy.
Yeah. Don't wait too long to get your plants. I mean, right now, the danger of frost is over. Everything can be planted outdoors now. Soil's warm, especially after this week. And go to your garden center and get your plants. Every day a plant stays at a garden center, it suffers. Right?
Yeah,
Isn't that true?
Agree.
Like for me, what I do is when I drive by a garden center and I see a truck, you know, where they're unloading the plants.
That's when you get out, right?
That's when I go there. As soon as, or the next day, because then, you know, okay, I got fresh plants here. But actually, I have to say, our garden centers in North Dakota do an outstanding job. Yeah. And I did walk around a bunch of garden centers this past week to get some plants, and I was impressed by the quality that they have there. It's they do a good job. And so I want to just talk a little bit about a few. I've got a whole hodgepodge going on today. So I want to talk about, often we make recommendations about, okay, you should grow this variety, you should grow this variety. But what the heck, what if the variety's not available at my garden center? So I want to tell you about, I went around to the garden centers in Bismarck.
Oh, you did some research,
listen, huh? I take my job very seriously here. Yes. And so here's some of the best or most interesting varieties that I found at the garden centers in Bismarck, and we have several of them. And so not every garden center will have every one of these, but I went to the major ones. I was very pleased to see, I was surprised actually to see some of these plus varieties. This is Celebrity Plus. A lot of garden centers have Celebrity. Celebrity is probably the most popular variety in North Dakota because it's easy to grow. The vines are easy to manage. They don't get too vigorous. It resists diseases, and it has good quality fruit. But now we have the plus varieties. And plus means they've found genes and they've moved them into the celebrity naturally. Okay, and there's no GMO stuff here I'm talking about. But now we got varieties like Celebrity Plus has more disease resistance and better fruit quality. So it seems there's Better Boy Plus, Lemon Boy Plus, Big Beef Plus.
Look for the plus sign, huh?
That's a good sign. That's an improved variety of just the last couple years. There's been amazing progress in the last 10, 20 years in tomato breeding because they've unlocked the genetic code of tomatoes. So they know where the genes are and they can move them in through breeding programs rapidly. So I was very pleased. I got some of those varieties for my garden this year.
Celebrity Plus.
There we go. Here's another one. We've tested the mountain varieties are outstanding. They can take cool summers. They're from the mountains of North Carolina. They do well in North Dakota. This is a picture of Mountain Merit. Done very well in our trials. And outstanding. Again, the vines are determinate, easy to manage, and fights diseases. But I saw this year a new variety that they're offering here in Bismarck, Mountain Man. Mountain Man has a lot of great qualities of these mountain varieties. Plus, it's supposed to have the perfect flavor, just the right combination of tanginess, acidity, and sweetness. So I saw that at a couple garden centers in Bismarck. Definitely going to try Mountain Man this year. Just got to try it. Here we go. The best tasting tomatoes in our trials are the orange or golden cherry tomatoes. They have intense fruity flavors. These are so good that even in our trials, I remember I tell a story a lot about how one person wrote, how they write their comments, a lot of comments. I told you about. One of them wrote about they caught their children hiding in the tomato patch, eating the tomatoes. So kids never eat vegetables. So if your kids are sneaking into the vegetable garden, there's something special about it. And I found both Sun Gold and Sun Sugar at the garden centers here in Bismarck. If I could tell you just one thing today to do, just one thing, please listen to me one time. Try an orange or these golden cherry tomatoes. You'll be amazed at their flavor. And again, they're available here locally in Bismarck. If anybody, I don't really want to specify here but if you want to send me an email, say, Tom, where did you find that Sun Gold? You can send me an email, and my name's Tom. It's on our show, tom.kalb@ndsu.edu. So just give me an email. I'll be happy to tell you exactly where I found them in case you're struggling. Okay, there's heirlooms. I see heirlooms there like Brandywine, Cherokee Purple. There's others out there. Just wanted to let you know that you got to be a little bit cautious around heirlooms. They're less productive. They're more susceptible to diseases. They require higher management skills. The flavors can be tremendous, but just realize that you're going to need to space the plants out a little more, keep the leaves dry. You got to stake them. It's going to take more management skills. So just be aware you're going to devote more time if you're going to grow an heirloom. Okay. I'm going to switch over to lawn care now. Lawn care right now for this time of year because I think that's probably one of the most busy things going on the last couple of weeks and in the near future. So Robin's having a good time here in this lawn. Fertilizing. Technically, we're in late May now, and late May is one of the key times we think to fertilize your lawn to help strengthen it. Lawn's growing. It's maybe the soil needs a little boost of nutrition now and get that grass really healthy, heading to those really hot summer days. So late May, early June, especially if you haven't fertilized already, it's generally a good time to fertilize. Not the best time. Fall is the best time, but this is the second best time. Fertilize your lawn with a classic lawn fertilizer. It'll be something like a 20-03, something like that. Don't get totally uptight about, I can only find a 19-1-3. Don't get uptight about it. But the first number, the nitrogen's the most important. Slow release nitrogen is best. Okay? Another thing is mowing your lawn. Now we're heading into the 90-degree weather. We got to mow tall and let the clippings fall. I set my mower at the highest level this time of year. Okay, here we go. A tall turf will naturally develop deeper roots. That's what we need. A tall turf shades the soil, keeping it cool. That's what your lawn wants. Your lawn does not enjoy 90 degrees, just like most of us don't enjoy 90 degrees. It likes it cool. Most of our lawns are like from the British Isles. They like it cool, like in the 60s. A tall turf will smother out some of those weeds. Let the clippings fall. The clippings have nitrogen. You can recycle the nutrients. It's a free fertilization every year. Let the clippings fall. It'll save your time and save you money. Okay, please, especially in the summertime as we're heading into June, mow tall. Let the clippings fall. Okay.
I felt behind on my mowing, but my grass took a little bit longer than the in town to take off. So I literally mowed the first time this last weekend.
Oh, well, the other thing, technically speaking, if you can, it's best not to trim off more than 1/3 of a grass blade at any time. Otherwise, you shock that grass a little bit. So
mine wasn't overly tall or anything. It's just out where I live. I don't have like the trees or anything, and it just took longer to get going. I even have some trees that are still got little baby leaves coming out. Like they're not fully leafed out yet. So,
well, your turf, it's a factor of fertilization. So if you're not actively fertilizing, your lawn might grow a little bit slower. It can be kind of cooler microenvironment.
I do, yeah.
Or maybe you miss some rain so that the grass is a little slower to get going this year. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. Didn't have to mow.
That's a good thing, huh?
It was good.
Okay. Okay, water. We got to talk about water now because now this is critical, especially in Bismarck where our water bills are so high. So your lawn, if you want to water, you don't have to water. You can let your lawn just naturally go to sleep and go dormant in the summer, no problem. But if you want to water, your lawn needs about 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week. The roots grow where the water is. If you water deep, the roots grow deep. That's what we want. If you water shallowly, the roots will stay near the surface and be more prone to drought injury. So irrigate deeply, not frequently. It's better to water once or twice a week rather than every day, just a little bit. Okay? Mm-hmm. You want to water deeply. And it's best to water in the early morning. Okay? The grass is active then. It'll suck up the water, and you won't lose as much water to evaporation. We don't like watering at night because you're more likely to get diseases that way. So if you can, get that water in the early morning. And avoid windy days. That can lead to evaporation too. So watering, very important. Here's one way. How much is an inch of water? It depends on your sprinkler system. So here's my sprinkler system. You can set out some like flat bottom tuna cans or coffee cups about 5, 10, 15 feet away. And you just start your sprinkler, and then you see how much time it takes for 1 inch of water, an average of 1 inch of water, and use that as your base time. Okay.
Easy enough.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about seeding. Some of us have bare spots. Maybe we had vole damage or some winter damage. The ground's warm now, and you can sow grass seed. I see that at garden centers a lot now. One thing to keep in mind about lawn species, like I'm getting calls, like people say, every time my lawn suffers in the winter, I reseed. It looks great in the summer and fall, and then it dies back every winter. Can be the lawn species. So choose your lawn grass carefully. There's 3 major types that are commonly grown in North Dakota. One's Kentucky bluegrass, and you got to look at the fine print of that package, that seed package, and see what you're getting there.
Yeah.
So if I got a sunny area, probably Kentucky bluegrass. That's probably going to be my top choice. It's very hardy, gives me the highest quality turf, and see what percentage of that seed mix is Kentucky bluegrass. So for a sunny mix, I'd like, even like a half of it to be Kentucky bluegrass, preferably more than one variety in case a disease comes. No variety will resist every disease, but if you have a blend of varieties, it's best. The second group are what we call, it's a fine, skinny leaf. A fine leaf red, chewings red, creeping red. These are good quality turf. It does better in the shady areas. So sometimes if you walk underneath a tree, you'll see a lot of the grass is skinnier. That's because it's a different type of grass. That means the bluegrass died out and this fine leaf fescue took over. And I also say the other thing is that if it's a salty area, a somewhat salty area, a fine fescue can tolerate that better than bluegrass. Bluegrass can't take a salty area. And then another thing that I see a lot in commercial seed mixes, that's really what I'm talking about today, is I see a lot of perennial ryegrass. Perennial ryegrass is marginally hardy. It's in seed mixes. It germinates really quick, 5 days. So it's important. I like it because it stabilizes the soil, because bluegrass can take 3 weeks to germinate. So I want to stabilize that soil, and the ryegrass can do that. But the problem is ryegrass is marginally hardy, so it may not survive a cold winter here in North Dakota. So often perennial ryegrass mixes I often see mixes that are over 50% perennial ryegrass. I'm not crazy about that. And in my old days, if I would write a garden journal someday, I kind of leaning more towards locally owned seed mix, like we got Chesapeake Seed House, Agassiz Seed. The blends that are made for North Dakota, they will have less perennial ryegrass. They'll have some, but they won't have like 50%. North Dakota, in the journal of my mind, I've learned over these years, all the suffering. We got harsh winters. And it's so... I really steer away from ryegrass mixes, ones that are high in ryegrass. I just want to throw that out there. Okay, let's keep moving here. Another thing is what I would add to my garden journal this year, Kelsey, is, I saw some dandelions this year, and this year I said, what, it's okay. It's okay to, there's a lot of dandelions here, but, it's okay to have some dandelions in your yard. Like this girl, she hasn't been brainwashed yet that, oh no, that's terrible lawn this person has. She's making a nice Mother's Day, bracelet or necklace for her mom with dandelions. But even over here, let's see here. Okay, what did I do with her? Here, I want to show this guy. This bumblebee here. One thing I learned about bumblebees, you know how long a bumblebee lives?
No.
Bumblebees don't survive winter. Do you know that?
I did know that.
You know that?
Yes.
I didn't know that. And so, bumblebees are just, they're coming out now. The ones that, the queen tried to survive. The new queens try to survive winter. So they're emerging now. Bumblebees there's not much blooms out now.
No.
The dandelions
exactly right.
are very important for our pollinators. Yesterday I saw a butterfly. I don't know what kind it was. It wasn't a monarch. But there's a butterfly on some of my dandelions. And I'm learning, it's okay to not have a uniform lawn. It's okay. It's okay to have a few golden gems in your yard.
I literally told somebody that yesterday looking at some trees, and he brought up his yard and talking about areas of dandelions, and I just said, yeah, you seem like you like a manicured lawn. And he goes, well, I want it to look nice, like the neighbors to say it looks nice and stuff. And I said, I'm completely opposite. I got plenty of dandelions. I got some alfalfa out there. I got everything. But again, I bought a pasture for my place,
right.
And so my lawn is pasture. And I think it looks great. I haven't went up close enough, but I even see little white flowers out there. Yeah. And I say, let's promote the pollinators. Let's give them that food so they stick around and want to pollinate my garden too.
Yeah, I think I'm learning a little moderation here and be more childlike. It's okay to have a few dandelions in your yard. And Moderation. But if you want to kill them, you got to prevent spray injury. Mm-hmm. And this is the biggest problem we get in extension. People call us all the time for what's wrong with my tomato. It's got spray damage. So avoid windy conditions. Like we want just a touch of wind's good, because we don't like a fog of pesticide hanging around that can just drift over. But like around 5 miles per hour, something like that. And, keep aware, like avoid damaging the neighbor's lawn or the neighbor's plants, the neighbor's garden. That's very important. But when it gets like higher than 10, just stop, spend a moment, have a cup of coffee, and write something in your journal saying, it was too windy today. I didn't spray. Or also hot temperatures. Like I want to spray an area right now and to expand my garden. But I'm not going to spray it today because the temperature is going to be over 85. So if it's really hot, don't spray. If it's in the high 80s or higher, do not spray. You're going to have more likelihood of drift. And please read the label and follow its instructions. It's more important than ever. Like I can just go by, I know I got to get some Roundup. But nowadays, like, my Lord, there's like Roundup? Roundup for lawns, Roundup for driveways, Roundup for flower gardens, Roundup for poison ivy. Oh, my Lord, in the good old days, I just had Roundup, and I knew what to do. But now you got to read the label.
That's right.
And find out exactly the purpose of it and exactly the proper rate. And, like, can I use the lawn clippings afterwards or not? Everything's changing now. Like 7. We had good old 7. Now we got Garden Tech 7. We got different 7s. We got all this confusing stuff, man. You got to get out the reading glasses and just like, okay, man, I got to read this label carefully so I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't screw up. You mess up.
And what the active ingredients
are.
are.
If you spray the wrong thing, you could have like, okay, I can't use this vegetable garden for vegetable garden for 2 years. So please read the label and follow the instructions. The company wants you to succeed. Don't use y'all saying, okay, it says, 1 tablespoon per gallon. I'm going to hit this sucker hard. I'm going to hit it 4 tablespoons. Don't do that. You'll just torch the weed. You got it. The company wants you to succeed. It'll give you the proper rate for the most success. Okay, last thing we talk about. Got to talk about some apple IPM here.
But weren't those blossoms just beautiful the last couple weeks? The apple trees, the crab
that's
apples.
what it's all about, huh?
I'm just saying, enjoying the beauty around town. Looked beautiful.
Yes, I always in my mental garden journal.
You got a nice.
I'm still sharp enough that I can remember this much, Kelsey. I think about like May 10th. That's the time. May 10th. That's when the crab apples hit their peak. So if it's an early year, if it's before May 10th, we're ahead of schedule.
This year was a little later.
Yeah,
and
just touch.
Man.
Yeah.
They look so great, I think, around town.
That's great. They're great for 2 weeks.
And then they're gone.
Is that good enough for you?
I mean, I don't know. I would really like to get like a Red Splendor or Prairie Fire just to have that vibrancy in the spring.
You like the
dark pink.
You like the dark one?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot. I think they stand out. I'm not, just in general, I'm not into like a lot of white flowers. Like white's not my color. Uh-huh. I want vibrant.
I kind of like, we're so different. I prefer white crab apples myself. The purity, I just like, give me a white crab apple. A nice contrast to the green. But I'm with you. It's all good. And make sure you get a disease-resistant crab apple. If you want fruit, make sure the fruit's small and persistent when you select a variety. Okay, so apples and crab apples are blooming, but they're pretty much done. So I want to talk about the IPM now. Okay, what about this guy right here? This is what we call a codling moth, okay?
You say he looks like the devil there.
How do you know it's a he? I have to say it's probably the females cause most trouble.
Yeah, the
Do you know
females
that?
do. The females are the devils in the fruit.
That's right. Here's I got to stand up for men here. Men coddling moths, we're kind of harmless. All we do is we fly around, pollinate some women, if you know what I'm saying. We don't cause much damage to the fruit. It's those darn women causing the trouble, who want to lay some eggs. And so, anyhow, we don't want to get too far afield on that. But that coddling moth, and this is the damage that they cause.
Yeah.
That mother, that woman, she laid her egg right there, and now that's the classic worm in your apple. Like, it can be it's a good half-inch long worm, and that causes real damage. So if this is your problem, that woman, she is flying around right now after the petals fall. There's no fruits before the petals fall, okay? Now, the petals fall, we got a fruit. Okay, it's been pollinated, it's been fertilized by the honeybees, bumblebees, whatever. And now you got to protect the fruit. So if you get coddling moth is a regular problem for you, now is the time to spray. Now and about 10 more days from now. Same with curculios. They're active now, and they will scar the fruits. That's what they do. So they don't cause deep problems, or sometimes they can cause deformed fruits. So curculios and coddling moths are active now, so now is the time to protect your fruits from them. Not the apple maggot, the coddling moth, and the curculio. Apple maggot, we wait till about the 4th of July. So in the springtime, you can protect with insecticides, and there's spinosad, imidan, pyrethroids, after petals fall. Never spray until after the petals fall, because otherwise you'll be killing the honeybees. But the honeybees are gone after the petals fall. They have no business. They say, why would I be here? There's no flowers here. I have no business here. So spray after the petals fall to control the pest. And do not spray with carbaryl. That's the old-fashioned traditional 7. So you got to read the label of 7. What type of 7 it is. Not the garden tech 7. That's zeta-cypermethrin. The traditional 7, which is carbaryl or 7 dust. That's usually carbaryl. Because 7 that type of 7, carbaryl, will cause the fruits to abort. Okay, so if you're on your apple tree, you can lose some of your apples if you spray with the insecticide within 30 days after the petals fall. But
it's a long time.
Yeah. But the thing is, maybe for crab apples, you don't want the fruits in the fall.
Yeah.
So you can spray with that traditional 7 carbaryl to thin out your crop now. You got to do it within 30 days of petal fall, so the fruits are only like the size of a dime. And you mix it up at half the rate. Follow the label. This is illegal, totally legal. Legal, okay? Not illegal. Legal. It's on the label. You mix about half the rate, and that can thin out your crop. So, like in some of these old-fashioned crabapple varieties that are messy in the fall, you can thin them out now.
Yeah.
And take care of it. But be careful with your apple crop, though. Make sure you know what you're doing there. So avoid 7 or avoid carbaryl for your first month of spring. Okay, there you go. The lilacs are blooming now. I'd say good luck, enjoy. Get out there in your garden and start a journal.
You know what's one pest I just saw recently in apples? Some eastern tent caterpillars. Have you seen any of those or gotten any calls?
Now's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're active.
Okay, so what are you going to do about them?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a couple they're actually in my choke cherry trees at home.
Oh, they love choke cherries.
Yeah.
They love fruit trees.
You know, me personally, I've just been walking by them. It's a small web. Whatever. I'm not too concerned about it. But I just talked to a gentleman this morning who had sent photos in, and what I recommended is break up that webbing like we've talked in the past. Dip it in some soapy water. You don't need to get out and cut out branches. He said his wife cut one out last night.
Yeah, don't cut the branches.
Yeah.
Because, okay, who does more harm?
The pruners.
The pruner?
Yeah.
Or the bug? You
the
just cut out the
pruners.
whole branch.
Yeah.
The bug just eats leaves.
Yeah, he's just eating some leaves.
How do you know it's a he again? You keep blaming the male insects.
Yeah,
They're here.
I'm just assiding, ain't I? Shouldn't do that. I should
Both. No,
it.
Men and women both eat. Caterpillars are both hungry. But
You can spray. You can use some BT. You can use some spinosad if you want to go lower impact.
That's right. Yeah, BT has no impact on anything except for a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Okay, spinosad's also very safe. Pyrethrin is active for 1 day. Very safe. So, personally...
Yeah, I know. Let's hear it, Dirty Harry.
Okay, you got it. What are you messing around with my tree for? You're going to die. And so, make my day, as Clint Eastwood used to say, make my day. And so you can use those harsh chemicals, and you got to get them when they're young, when the caterpillars are young. Soak that nest, and they'll just fall down. And it gets like, you can see them shake. It causes spasms. Really cool. Nice revenge.
Real cool.
Feels good. Like, don't mess around with my yard, buddy. But if you're more like easygoing, you can do what you're doing. You can just pull the nest out, or they just eat the leaves. The tree will not die from it. The tree will re-leaf itself this year. So nothing to worry about. But you're right. It's very vivid. But definitely don't get out there with the pruner or like the blow torches. People do that too. That sizzles. It sounds good, but the tree doesn't appreciate that
not
sizzle.
To a tree.
No.
Oh.
So that's one thing about bugs. They're just starting to emerge right now. So
even flies. I've been noticing the flies on horses and the big fat flies by my house.
Yeah. So we got a few days before that. We got a lot of insect pressure, so we can enjoy those days.
Yeah.
If it cools off.
Yeah. I guess I can be happy there's not the mosquitoes out.
No mosquitoes yet.
No.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
It's common.
Any other last pieces of
I got no other wisdom. Just enjoy your garden. Grow a garden. Keep notes. Learn from your mistakes and your successes.
And have a great growing year, right?
Yeah, well, is this our last episode? I mean,
No,
come on.
It's not.
No.
We're just beginning for this growing season.
So there we go. We'll have regular updates throughout the growing season. Stay tuned. And also you can download. We got old episodes. Keep track. That's kind of like a digital journal a little bit. Our older episodes.
Yeah.
So a lot to learn, a lot to experience. Life is good.
Well, perfect. I think with that, we'll just say thank you for joining us on today's episode of Dakota Growing. And like Tom said, we are going to get in our regular format for the growing season, providing timely updates and advice and all the tips and tricks for the growing season. So we hope that you will join us on all our future episodes.
Dakota Growing is a gardening show brought to you by Dakota Media Access and NDSU Extension. We discuss a variety of timely topics pertaining to your landscape, along with giving you tips and advice for your lawn, garden, and trees. If you have questions, call 701-221-6865 or email ndsu.burley.extension@ndsu.com. Dakota Growing airs on Radio Access 102.5 FM, Community Access Channel 12 or 612 HD, or online at freetv.org.